Welcome to the 2013 Red Raider Coaches Show with Coach Pooh Garrison. And tonight we're going to talk about the upcoming game of scrimmage. We're going to get you a chance to meet Coach Garrison, talk to some of his players, and then we're going to later in the show we're going to let you introduce or let him introduce all his new coaching staff and talk about them a little bit. To get kicked right off, Coach, we're going to talk to you a little bit about where you came from, why you're here. And again, we know out there Coach Johns left last year. You were his assistant. There was a bunch of talk about who would be coming in and all, and you got hired and all. So just, you know, in the times you can, if you kind of go through that a little bit, and just tell them why you're coaching, why you want to be in Macon County.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm originally from Bartow, Florida, which is in South Central Florida, just above the Muck area, as it's known there in Florida. And, grew up in a little town. I guess I say little town, but it's not as small as Alma. But for that area, my town would be considered a little Alma. And had a pretty rough life growing up. And struggled a little bit coming up, and was able to find my niche in football and play. And I had a coach that was willing to help me, and knew the area where I came from, knew many kids that survived that area. And I was a pretty decent player, and I was able to kind of reinvent myself and do the things that he asked me to do, and was able to get myself into college and move on. And of course, ended up coming back and wanted to be a football coach. And I know me and you've talked before. Long story short, though, just one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to coach football is because I had a coach that reached out to save me and save my life, and it was through football where I was able to kind of build myself and find some discipline and find some character, and I want that opportunity to reach out and save kids too. Coming to Alma has been different for me. I thought I would be still in my hometown in Polk County, down there in Bartow, and coaching and doing the things down there. Thought I would be saving kids from my neighborhood, but unfortunately things been the way it is. I'm here in Alma and trying to help kids here, and I do it simply because of the kids and an opportunity to try to give a kid that's in a bad situation an opportunity to change their life. I know what football can do for you, and I want them to have that same opportunity, but it comes with a little hard work and dedication. And so I mean that's a little bit about me. I was able to go on, like I said, and play college ball. I played at Bethune-Cookman University in Daytona Beach. I've traveled a little bit coaching, but I came here because of Coach Johns. And things being the way it is, he decided to take his family and move on to another place. And me and my family, we liked it here. Like I said, I've traveled, been to a bunch of different schools, and just decided, me and my wife, we just decided we were tired of moving, to be honest with you. And I have 5 kids, and we wanted some place where the kids could settle down and grow up, and we like it here. I mean, it was quiet. I've been living down in the city for most of my life and most of my coaching career, and this was a chance not to have all the hustle and bustle of the city, just a place where my kids can get out and enjoy themselves, and just kind of be in a family environment and grow up in a safer place, and have a chance to experience things they haven't been able to experience. One of the biggest reasons we love to hear so much is my family with my kids. They've been able to just get out and go out there in the yard and play, and just go outside and play catch with each other and run and just play. I mean, we lived in downtown Orlando, and everything's not always Mickey Mouse down there.
I remember your first story you told us out the door that day is that you walked outside at 2 o'clock in the morning and never heard birds chirping. They didn't know birds were up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that was interesting for me to come outside here at 2:30 in the morning and hear the birds. I mean, the only birds you hear down there are the helicopters. So they're constantly flying over, gunshots, and then like I said, for my kids, just for the kids to have an opportunity to get out there in the yard and play and have fun and just be kids. You couldn't do that in Orlando. I mean, in certain areas it was just so bad that you just had to stay in the house all the time. And I didn't like that environment for my kids. I didn't want my kids growing up in that environment. I grew up in that environment, and I've always said that if I ever made it, that would be the last place I would ever raise my family. And that's the biggest reason why I'm here. you know.
Well, you know, you faced challenges growing up, and you're talking about your young adult life. When you moved to Bacon County, you took the head coaching job. What do you see now as your biggest challenge? It's coming behind a coach like Coach Johns that we were glad he's here. You know, we got you now, and we look forward to future you. So, and what do you see as your biggest challenge moving forward to take this program to the next level?
Well, I mean, I got some big shoes to fill. You know, Coach Johns is a friend of mine. I mean, he done an awesome job, and I hope I can fill those shoes. I can't make any promises, but I do know this. I believe in hard work, and we work hard. I believe in the weight room. One of the biggest things is going to be us keeping the kids together, just making sure that we stay gelled, and keeping the brand name of what Coach Johns has brought here, physical football. And I think we're on the right path. I think we're doing that, and it starts right here where we are right now. For us, this is where we start to build our program, is here in this weight room.
And I think you've done a good job of following up behind that, because I know the kids they're like freaks of nature walking around the neighborhood right now. Big kids. So, we're going to take a quick break right now. We'll come back and we're going to meet some of the players, talk about them, and kind of talk maybe a little bit about Brantley County. The new coaches will be right back after this. All right, welcome back. We're going to take a little bit of time now to let Coach Garrison introduce some of his players and talk about them and some of the positions they're playing and how they may impact us this year in 2013 football season. Coach?
Yeah, well, we'll start right here on the front row. Right here, we have Antonio Madison, plays linebacker and fullback. We have Ronnie Peterson, who plays linebacker and fullback. Back over here to my right is Trevor Williams, who's offensive line, defensive line. Anthony Florence plays nose guard and fullback. In the middle here, we have Drell Green, who plays quarterback and safety. Devontae O'Neal, who plays corner and receiver. And Tron Fosu, who right now is our all-around athlete. We play him at receiver, safety, corner, and some tailback.
All right, Coach, one of our big position changes this year was quarterback. We lost Matt. So you got Drell replacing that. Talk a little bit about Drell and how he fits into that offense and what we're going to do differently.
Well, you know, Matt was a great player, and Drell has some big shoes to fill. And I'm hoping he's going to fill them right now. He's had a great camp, great spring, good summer. worked really hard over the summer. Strength has increased. All around, our whole team speed has increased. But he's doing the things right now we ask him to do. Throws the ball really, really well. That might be his edge over Matt. He definitely can get the ball downfield.
Well, you took me earlier and said we're going to probably throw the ball a little bit more.
We're gonna try to get it downfield a little bit more. Now we're not gonna abandon the run. We're gonna be a running football team, but we're gonna definitely try to get the ball downfield. And you know, Drill has the arm to get it downfield and the vision to see down the field and get it down there. And not to take away from Matt through. You know, we asked Matt to win football games. We're actually looking at Drill not to really ask him to win the football game, but manage the game. And we're going to try to spread the ball to our athletes and ask them as a collective team to win the game. Where we had to put a lot of that pressure on Matt last year, Drill probably won't have so much of that pressure on him. But he can do some things that Matt can't do. You know, that Matt couldn't do. He moves around a little pretty good, just as good as Matt. And he's right now, I think I got to get an edge to speed to him. You know, as far as where Matt can sit there and read the option and do the things that we want him to do. Drill's getting better at it. We still got a little work to do, but that's why we continue to practice. And of course, we have Devontae O'Neal and Tron Folsom, who are our two big receivers, and we're expecting big things out of them this year, which is one of the reasons why we're looking to try to get the ball downfield some, because we got these two guys that can go up and go get it. And I think, you know, together, we're gonna look to be multiple with them, to split teams on both sides and to put them together, just to see what teams do to us, see what they're gonna have to do. Because you can't double team them both, especially if we put them on the same side. You got to pick your poison at that point. And I think we could give teams a fit in that situation. And then we have Randy Peterson, Antonio, and Anthony Florence. All three play fullback. And we have a young kid that's not here tonight, but we rotate him in also. Wesley Coffin. So, you know, we have a stable of fullbacks that we can get, and Randy can run some tailback also, and Anthony Florence can also, and that gives us a stable of backs that can stretch people and get down the field and run the ball hard inside and try to punish people. And then with that being said, we'll lead to Trevor Williams, who right now Trevor and Jay Jackson they're anchoring our offensive line. They're our two best offensive linemen, so we decided to move those two guys to guard. We're going to ask our guards to move people, and we figure they give us the best chance to do that. And, you know, right now Trevor's having a great camp. Jay Jackson is having a great camp also. And Trevor's been more of the vocal leader, more of the heart and soul of our offensive line, and they feed off of it. And he plays with passion. We talked the other day as a team about offensive linemen and defensive linemen not getting glory, not having that type of glory, and having to earn it behind their tailbacks and running backs. And Trevor has just taken that full circle and said, "Coach, I don't need the glory. I will get the glory when we win." And that's the type of kid that you look for in an offensive lineman, a workhorse type of kid that knows he's not going to get noticed for it, but just loves that thrill.
Just a real update, one of our offensive linemen we lost over the summer with injury, Ryan Howell.
Ryan Howell, yeah, we lost Ryan Howell to a knee injury, which was definitely a blow to our team. He was going to be big for us at center to anchor our offensive line. He was possibly the leader before Trevor, and Trevor stepped in to fill that role and has done a good job at it.
Okay.
So.
And these two got on the front here.
Well, we hoping these two right here are going to anchor our defense. You know, so I think our linebacker core, you know, and don't get me wrong, we're in a tough region. We're in a very good region with some teams that play good defense. But I got to say, I think we might have the best linebacker core around. And I think once teams play us, they're going to realize we have a pretty good linebacker core also. And we have Antonio Madison, who's playing Mike linebacker and running, who we moved to Sam. And then we have Payson Sams and Kyle Wilcox also that can play some linebacker. We have four really good linebackers right now that are playing really, really good for us, making key reads, and they're physical. They are physical. I mean, it's almost to the point where we almost have to hold them out of practice because we just can't afford to get a kid hurt, and they're playing that physical. So I hope it shows up on Friday night that they continue to play that way and get out the people the same way. They play with passion, and they'll hit you. They'll hit you like a ton of bricks. And part of that is, as you can see, is we beefed up a little bit. As a team, we've probably had an average weight gain this summer of about 20 pounds. We weighed the kids in. Yeah, we weighed the kids in over the summer, a couple times over the summer. Tried to monitor their weight a little bit. And on average, as a team right now, we're averaging about 20-pound weight gain, which is big for all our kids. I tell people all the time, Tron Folsom, probably, where were you last year, Tron? 165, and he weighed in this summer one time at 188. I mean, so we've been able to put some weight on our kids, which has been really, really good. So.
And with the region we're playing into, we're playing against a lot bigger schools, and we're going to have to go both ways a lot. So I know you've been working as far as getting the guys ready as far as endurance. So
we have, and we done a lot of speed training. We incorporated with our strength running that we did in the years past with Coach John. Along with our strength running, we incorporated some speed training to help build somebody endurance. Put in a lot more change of direction, quick change stuff, more explosive running, and then the way we practice. Our practice, there's not a lot of standing around in our practice. We're always yelling at them about constantly moving, running where you're going, running back to the huddle. I mean, we don't do a lot of conditioning after practice. We don't have to because of the style and the tempo at our practice. It's an upbeat tempo. It's a quick tempo. We're always running, change of direction, good transition. So we're able to get a lot of our conditioning with the way that we practice.
Quick, we talk about kind of offense and defense. Where we stand special teams wise. Who you got kicking this year? Who's filling those roles?
Well, we're looking at Dalton Alma, Xavier Hayes, and Jacob Carver to try to spread some of the kicking duties around. And we think we found us a punter. We might have found two, actually. Preseason Sims and Ignacio Washington, which both of those guys will be long snappers along with William Merritt for us also. But we definitely have a good partner in Preseason, so I think we're going to be able to get the ball off. And we have a kicking coach who's been coming in working with him, Joe Bordeaux. He's been coming in working with our kids during our specialty period at the beginning of practice. And then we kicking wise, we're looking at Dalton and Jacob Carver to run those duties of kicking extra points. Jacob's going to be the guy that's definitely going to kick off right now. He has a stronger leg. He can get the ball down the field. So we're looking at him to try to take over the kickoff duties. But, I know the biggest question on everybody's mind is, are we going to put somebody back on the punt return?
Well, I was going to say that's the big elephant in the room. You're going to have to answer that.
Yeah, so we've been working. Right now, we got two guys that are definitely getting a lot of the reps every day at working with it. We got Coach Council, who's one of our coaches that we hired, who's a heck of a punt returner, and he's been back there working with those guys, trying to teach them how to receive the ball and catch the ball and field the ball. And he works with them constantly. He's constantly getting in their way and messing with them out there, giving them a fit. And I think that's going to make us better because he's always trying to find ways to distract them and try to break their concentration. And we've been able to field the ball a lot better. I'm hoping that Tron Folsom and Devontae O'Neal can handle those duties. And Devontae right now is looking like a natural back there. Tron's working. We had a couple slip-ups today, but for the most part, he's been working pretty good back there also.
Well, we learned last year and in the last few years, in our region especially, as tight as things are, field position is key. Is everything. We got to have field position. That's a good thing. So, we're going to take a quick break now. We come back, we'll let Coach Garrison talk about his new coaches, and we're going to talk about Franklin County, our scrimmage coming up this Friday night, and then the games in this region that we're going to be playing this year. We'll be right back.
Let's go!
All right, welcome back. We're going to go now jump right into the region and talk about that, and then we'll finish up talking about your coaches and stuff. Coach, we start with Brantley County Friday night, which is a long-time rivalry. There's been some controversy about the game, about whether we should or shouldn't play. But how are you going to prepare this week? How you preparing in this whole? And I used to ask Coach John the same thing. How are you going to prepare? What do you do leading up to the games and get us ready? What's different from your practices and Coach before? And
well, you know, we've taken an approach to try to be more upbeat and more up tempo. Like I told you before, we don't have a lot of standing around in practice. We always got people constantly working. If we're in a, you know, I know you guys don't really know how our schedules go, but if we're in a group period and we're working with the inside 7 on offense and the inside 7 on defense, well, our DBs are working ball drills and our receivers are working ball drills. You know, we have the luxury of having Coach Council and Coach James that can split time with those kids, so we don't have a lot of kids standing around. So if we're working drills there, until we come together as a team, when we break them up into different position groups, then we can get double the work out of those kids. So we got kids constantly working. And you got to do that when you don't have a JV, which we don't have this year just because of lack of numbers. But we're able to get those kids incorporated in practice and work. Now, there is a little bit of standing around during the team time, but one of the things that's been a lot different from my practices than Coach John's is we've tried to keep the tempo more upbeat, haven't really slowed it down as much, and I've been a stickler for making sure we constantly work, push, and stay on time. If I give our coaches 20 minutes in individual, or like, for example, I'll use today's schedule, for example, gave the coaches 35 minutes for individual. Well, we're going to do 35 minutes. Now, and we're not going to go over. You know, at 35 minutes, I'm blowing it up. You know, then we'll get the kids a quick water break or whatever the case may be. And then we get back onto the next period. If we got a 5-minute water break, then they get a 5-minute water break. If we're in, like today, we were under heat advisory warning today. So I had to give them a 15 to 30-minute break. So I broke it up. We did 15 and 15. With 3 5-minute water breaks in between the 2 15-minute breaks. And we just stay on schedule. There's not a lot. I blow the whistle at 12 minutes. I talk to them for a couple minutes, and then we move on to our group. So that's how 15 minutes. And we've been able to stay on schedule and push the kids through, and just keeping the practice up tempo. I'm always on my coaches about staying up tempo, stay on the kids, making sure that they're jogging. So there's not a lot of transition time, and there wasn't a whole lot with Coach Johns either. But Coach Johns, you know, sometimes we get off that schedule, and I've really focused on staying on my schedule, staying on the schedule, which in turn we've been able to push practice a little bit more, but try to keep the kids and get the kids out on time. Yeah. So
we're looking at our region this year, Coach, switching a little different way here. Yeah, I know we got the same like we have every year. We got the Vidays, we got the Benedictines. Where do you see our region stacking up as far as where we stand with them?
I see it as being a contender in the region. You know, now whether everybody in the region sees us that way, no. I mean, you know.
Well, I know in the past we've been able to sneak up on folks. We're not going to do that. Everybody's looking for Bacon County.
No, everybody's looking for us.
We got a big target. I know Toombs County is one of those that they're looking to play us again this year.
Yeah.
But we got some teams that we got some stuff left out there with Viday, with Benedictine and stuff. We got some games that we got to look forward to this year.
Yeah, we do. And we got some tough battles ahead. We gotta keep our kids focused. We've been able right now. I think one of the toughest things that we had last year, and I know you would know this because you talked with Coach Jones a lot. We had a problem last year trying to find ways to motivate the kids sometimes for games. I don't think we got that issue this year. They're a little bit older. They're not necessarily looking for payback, but they want those games. Those are games that they feel like are measuring sticks for us, and they feel like we can measure ourselves on who we are based on the Benedictines, the Vidays, and the Toombs Counties of the world. And we're the, you know, it's like David versus Goliath. You know, we see ourselves as David always. We're one of the smallest schools in our region. We have one of the smallest teams in our region besides probably ATCO, and we face the Giants every week in and week out. You can't slip. I mean, you can't slip on anybody. This is a tough region to play in. very good coaching in this region, so you got to work your butt off as a coach every day. And that's the one thing that I've taken from Coach Johns is I don't let my coaches sleep. You know, they're working. If I'm working, they're working, and just you know, that's just the way it is, because we have to out-practice people, outlive people, and outwork people as a coaching staff to give ourselves a chance. You know.
Well, I definitely see that. You know, again, we saw before we came back from the break, we saw highlights of Brantley County from last year. Where do you see we were stepping up against Brantley for Friday night? Where do you see that game?
You know, I'll be honest with you. Like you said, that game has had a little bit of controversy. We're approaching that game like a real game. We understand it's a scrimmage. There's going to be some things that are going to be different in the game. Special team wise, you know, we're going to mark the ball off. There's not going to be any live punts, live kickoffs. So we're going to work on those special team things. That, you know, Brantley County needs to work on those things as well as we do. But we're still going to take the same approach within the play of offense and the play of defense as a real game. And our kids are going to try to get out there and get after it. You know, our kids has kind of taken a little bit of the controversial stuff that has happened to heart. And you know, we're going to get out here and play. We're going to get out here and play, and I hope we play physical and show everybody that we're still a physical, get after you, Bacon County team. I
think we'll do that. I think we'll do that. And we've talked about it through the whole show here tonight about getting ready, getting the players ready. Real quick, to finish up with, I want you to go through your coaches who you've hired, where as far as they're coaching, who's going to be up top for you, your eyes in the sky, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. Well, of course, you know, I filled in Coach John's spot and took over as the head coach and the athletic director, and Coach James, I bumped Coach James up. He's actually going to be the assistant head coach, DB, and wide receiver coach. I thought that was a great pick for him because he manages a game really, really well. He might not know, now he knows our defense. He might not know everything we're doing on offense, but you know, the guy can manage a game. And you look for the coach because we had so many new coaches. I knew he could do it. Didn't know if my other coaches could at this point or not, but I knew he could do it. So I thought he would be the logical choice as assistant head coach of somewhere that happened to me. He's going to make good decisions. He's going to be logical, and that's what, you know, you kind of look for in that situation. We hired Travis McCullough as our offensive coordinator, and Travis McCullough is from Jacksonville Ed White. He was the co-coordinator there at Jacksonville Ed White. Done a good job there under Terry Gilliam, who was the head coach there, and came highly recommended. He does a good job. He's a passionate guy. He's a fiery guy. You know, I have to calm him down sometimes. I didn't think I would have to be calming anybody down ever, but he's passionate about what he does. And you know, he's a workaholic. I like that about him. And then we have, I might as well stay on the McCullough. We have Travis's brother, which is an unusual situation, but his brother was a good young offensive line coach that was looking to come in. So that gives me two good offensive line coaches in Travis and his brother. And his brother is Thomas McCullough. He works in our middle school as a sped teacher, and this is his second year coaching. And he does a good job, man. He's not timid. He's a little bit less fiery than Thomas, but he coaches just as hard. He's just not the yellow screamer that Travis is, but Thomas still gets out there. He coaches really hard, and it's funny watching them in the coaches meetings because they're arguing about how they're going to block a play every day, and Thomas always feels like he's right, and Travis always throws that age up on him. So, but no, they do a really, really good job, and we've been able to get constant work out of our offensive line because when we're able to go groups and split up, Travis could go with the backs and the quarterbacks and work with those guys while Tom stays down and works with the leftover offensive linemen or the young kids or whatever. So we're getting constant work out of those kids, and they're getting better. It's paying off for them. Then we have Miles Belinsky, who's going to be our new linebacker coach. And he's learning the defense right now. He does a really good job, and he's actually going to be my eyes in the sky on defense. He's been a head coach before at Bloomingdale High School in Tampa. He's been on the offensive side of the ball the last 4 or 5 years, so he's kind of shaking that offense off a little bit, but he's going to be good for me in the sky because he can break down the offense really, really good, and he sees what's out there. He knows what's coming. He has a good feel for the game, and I mean, he would be a guy that maybe we get down the road and he learns the kids in the system that I would look at definitely maybe possibly turning the defense over, just depending on how things go.
He's been part of 2 state championships.
Yeah. He's actually been a part of 2 state championships at Armwood and at Armwood High School out of Tampa. They do a really, really good job there at Armwood under Coach Sean Callahan, and he was at Lake Wells High School when I kind of stole him away under Rod Schaefer, who's another well-known coach in Florida, probably top 20 in wins in the state of Florida. At Lake Wells High School, where they're another small town program that's very, very physical, you know, he's been there with those guys, you know, at Lake Wells, and they've probably been regional finals, semifinals the last 4 or 5 years at Lake Wells High School. So they've done a really good job. So they've been 2-3 rounds deep every year. So he brings real deep playoff experience, and then of course, we don't have a JV this year, so Coach Peavy took on the role to bump up from our head JV coach to become our varsity assistant quarterback coach, and he's really had fun now. I mean, you talking about a guy like a bull in a china shop or a kid in a candy store. I mean, he's out there just having fun, and he's coaching his butt off. And our quarterbacks are getting better. He's constantly working with Aubrey and Drell, and they're getting better. It's paying off. I think that one-on-one all the time with those 2 guys have really. It's going to really be the edge for us more so than what Matt might have had, because Coach Johns, being the head coach, had to split his time a little bit all over the place. But I think that constant one-on-one with those 2 guys are really going to pay off in the long run. And then, you know, we still have we have Coach Council, Corey Council, who's new also. He's going to be our running back DB coach, and he's doing a really good job. I tell you, the big addition for Coach Council coming this summer has been him bringing his speed program. He's a guy that played in the NFL a little bit, played on the Canadian Football League, and constantly worked his speed training and was with a lot of those speed guys. So he's picked up on how to teach speed training and that type of deal, and it's really paid off for us. Got a lot of work in this summer. And our kids got a lot faster, you know, working that change of direction stuff, that explosive stuff, and I mean, it's been great for us. It's been great, and you know, we incorporated his speed training with our strength running, so it was really, really good for us this summer.
Well, real quick, finishing up your middle school program, we have a 6th grade team this year.
Yes, we still have a 6th grade team. We have a 7th and 8th grade team, and we've actually picked up middle school coaches. We have Coach Owens, of course, who's still our middle school head coach. We have Coach Woodall, who's our defense coordinator, I guess, down there with the middle school, and helps with the D-line and O-line. And Coach Roberts is back. You know, he missed last season because he had the hernia surgery. And he's back this year down there helping with the DBs and the receivers. And then we picked up Ruben Jr., Coach Ruben's son, who's one of our middle school basketball coaches. His son's coming out. He's volunteering. And so that gives us 4 coaches down there in the middle school program, where we've basically only had maybe 1 or 2 over the last few years. So that gives us 4 volunteers. I mean, 2 volunteers and 2 full-time coaches down there working. And they're doing a great job down there.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time. We're going to wrap it up, folks. We want to thank you for tuning in. We'll be doing this each week at the same time. Coach Garrison will be going over next week. We'll be talking about Brantley County and hopefully how we annihilated them on the field. We'll be talking about next week's upcoming game, which is, I guess the other pink elephant room is Pierce County, and we're looking forward to that game, but we're not looking past Brantley, even though it is a scrimmage. So we want to challenge you to watch each week. We got our Booster Club president here tonight, Joe Hayes. I know if you've got anything you want to volunteer, money, anything, we'll take it all, because it takes a lot to keep this program rolling, to keep these boys and what they need. As far as Coach Garrison talked about boys gaining 20 pounds, and the Touchdown Club provides food, and Gatorade, and all that kind of stuff for kids. So if you could come out, we have Touchdown Club meetings every Monday night at 7 o'clock. Come out and help participate and help do what we can for the team. So we will see you again this time next week.